And there's a rumor that you're thinking of taking a more active interest in local politics. Want to talk about it a bit?
Well, yes, I am going to take spend more time vetting and going through the candidates that I think are important to Cleveland particularly. It's amazing to me to find out that in the very short 18 months, you have a race for mayor, which is a very exciting and very important race. The city of Cleveland is going to receive $515 million from the federal government. How that's spent and how that's utilized to support, for example, the constables, or the cop word, which is basically, concept is, constable on, it was an English term,
Yeah.
meaning on patrol, constables on patrol. We need lots of constables, lots of policemen on control. We have to get control of these neighborhoods. And we got to make sure we don't turn into Minneapolis or Miami, or particularly Kansas City, and of course Chicago and Seattle. We have to step up.
Even Cleveland, Eddie, was the millions of dollars damage done to 4th Street, and I know you know a lot of the business on 4th Street. It was millions of dollars, wasn't it?
It is millions of dollars. It's just, but it's way beyond that, Jerry. It's about the comfort and the well-being of being in your own home, in your own street, and with your own people. And the police should be and historically part of the community, and they should be respected for that. And I think there's a time now in which a tremendous amount of emphasis has to be put in that place. When you talk about my activities, I've been very politically active, at federal level and presidential level. But I'm particularly interested in Cleveland. This is my hometown. I started my first manufacturing business here when I was 19 years old at 2720 East 79th Street. I lived through the Huff riots here. I had a facility, I had a plant. I understand the community, and I think it's imperative that we make sure we get it right with all this capital coming in. But not only do we have the mayor's race, we have the county executive race. And there's good people in all these races. But, I feel that I think some are more qualified. This experience, not only is the city getting this capital, the county is getting another $300 million. It's $750 million coming into our communities in the next year. How that's spent, where it's spent. Let's just start with making sure the service and the first responders are taken care of. We have to step up. Education, job creation, all these things people are talking about, job retention. Everyone wants to talk about new jobs and let's get this job and that job. How about keeping the jobs we have here? We can't lose companies. They can't leave Cleveland. We have to reach out, we have to have better organization, and we have to have more qualified people than we've ever had before. And I'm not saying any of these people are not qualified, they are qualified. But some, in my opinion, are better, have a better opportunity, and will deliver. And I don't care if they're one side or the other. It's never been a difference between. I'm all about good government. I gave you an article just to give you a little history. In 1990, I crossed over and backed Mike White, as a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is important. I think it's timely, and I think we have to really, everyone has to open up their minds and think about who is best able to service our community in the next 18 months. We've got to get the right people in the right jobs.
Well, how can you help change the future of the city?
The only thing I can help change the future of the city is to stay active, as a voice. I think I've grown up here. I lived in Cleveland. I'm a businessman in Cleveland. Our family companies employ over 7,000 people worldwide. I understand manufacturing. I understand job creation. I understand nonsense. I understand promise and broken promises. And I've helped send a lot of politicians to jobs around the country, particularly in Washington, only to find out they forgot why he went there. So I'm a little disturbed about this. I want the best for Cleveland. I want the best for the county. I want the best for my family and the best for my grandchildren. We all want the same thing. It starts with a very strong police department and safety in the community.
safety should have no political affiliation, safety of the citizens, right? That is most important.
Safety is for everyone.
Right.
If the mandate for the federal government is to take care of their people, okay? And the question is, that's not happening at the federal level. We got to get it done right here in Cleveland, Ohio, with the police department, our own captains, our own lieutenants, our own training. We have to train them. They have to be recognized as an important part and respected, and absolutely respected. There obviously can be mistakes and things happen like this, but this, you know, we're not a little community. This is 335 million people in America. Cleveland's a very prosperous, great company. When I call it company, because I think of it sort of like a company, it's run like a company, it should be run like a company. We should have the best presidents, the best officers, the best people elected, and the people that care. And then people like myself in the business community, and they're all very anxious to help. But it's hard to help someone that doesn't want to be helped. We have to start forgetting about what club we came from, who we are, where we are. We're all one here, you know. And I represent that. I represent good government, and I'm going to do my part. My family's going to do our part, and we start by creating jobs and retaining jobs. That's the mission.
Do you have a particular person that you think might be good as a mayor or as a county executive? Do you have anybody in particular in mind that you...
Well, based on my criteria of ability to do the job, when I think of the job, the mayor's job, it's going to be incredible. It's been incredible. It's a very big. And Mayor Jackson's done a wonderful job. I'm not discrediting it, but I think this is a completely different set of circumstances. This is bigger than any one particular person. And quite frankly, and as everyone knows, I was a presidential appointment by President Trump, so that probably says generally I'm a Republican. But I don't really care about being a Republican, being a Democrat. I want the best candidate for mayor and the person can get this job done. So the job is big, it's even bigger, and the one I think that's most qualified, they're all qualified. And I'm not dishing anyone. I'm only saying there's one I think is the most qualified, is Dennis Kucinich, because of his experience in office. You know, he's older now. Let's forget about the nonsense when he was a kid. You know, he was doing what he thought was right for Cleveland. You know, I spent a lot of time with him. I think he's ready to go. He understands it. He understands Washington. And we really need someone to run the business. This is a big business. How many thousands of employees? But when you get to the county level, the county executive spot, I think there's like 7,000 people working. We're talking about big jobs, people, your neighborhood and everything else. We have to get this under control. This is a business. Now you'd say, and somebody said to me, well, Ed, you're just a businessman. You think you can solve all the problems by running it like a business. Well, it is a business. It's got income, it's got expenses, it's got people, it's got respect. And it is imperative that we come together here and stop thinking about who we were and who we voted for last time. We have to think about the people that can do the job. Who is the best to do the job? And after looking at the candidates, that's what I feel. And again, I have lots of friends in this queue. And but you asked me the questions, Gerry, and I'm accustomed to answering them as I believe, and particularly politically. So that's the way. But I hope everyone opens their eyes and opens their ears and begins to listen to what is in the best interest of Cleveland, Ohio, and elect the right candidate.
Station break.
Goes for Facebook that spreads this information.
We are flagging.
We continue on, Mike. Why?
Why don't you guys play something so I let that little talk?
You like to talk. You like to talk.
You talking to me like I'm an Irishman.
You're not answering like a politician. You're answering more direct. Politicians don't answer that way.
Well, I'm in so much trouble. I don't care about it. It don't make a difference to me. I believe in it. You know, so
Who's your
WHK W273 DG Cleveland.
One I think is the one most quite capable is.
If you were listening a few minutes ago, you may have heard Ambassador Ed Crawford say that Dennis Kucinich is probably the best candidate for mayor of Cleveland. Now, I know some of you have fallen out of your chairs already because Ed is a Republican, And Dennis Kucinich has a reputation of being a liberal Democrat. I must get him on the program to talk about this. But in the meantime, we have Ambassador Crawford, newly back from his assignment in Dublin the last few years as ambassador to Ireland. But he is the son of this city. Even though he was born in the Bronx in New York, he's been here since he was, is it 8 years or 10 years old, Eddie? 8 years old?
10 years old.
10 years old, he's been in Cleveland, so I think it's fair to call him a Clevelander. And he really worries about the future of our city. He wants it to go the right way. Tell me about why you think Dennis Kucinich can take us in the right direction.
Well, let me start by throwing something on the table here that I think is very important. It's not a decision maker for me, but Dennis Kucinich's mother is Irish.
All right, Virginia Norris was her name.
That's right. So that's a very important little fact that we all should be thinking about, all of us. Even I'm from Cork, but everyone gets the idea, you know. You know. No, it's experience, time in service. He's been a congressman. You know, he's been in politics all of his life. He's back here because he loves the city, the community. His wife is here. Elizabeth's here to support him. I think it's a chance for someone to step in and prove to himself, but more important, prove to us that he really cares about Cleveland. I think he does, and I'm, you know, my own little heart betting the fact that he is right here, and he's the one that could get this done. And I don't care where he came from or how he came from or why he's back in Cleveland. I want a great mayor that's going to spend that $500 million correctly, and I want a better and bigger and smarter and happier police department.
He really, he doesn't need the job. He's famous.
Yeah.
He's on television all the time, radio all the time, and I think Dennis is doing it for the good of the city that he was born and raised in.
Well, that's what he said to me more than once, and I believe Dennis, and I talked about the history and at the beginning and so forth. Yeah, I kind of, in a way, he's kind of an underdog. I mean, you know, he wants back here, you know, because he wants back here. He thinks he can do some good. You know, I want someone that wants the job. I don't want to get someone that just is going to inherit the job. I want somebody that's hungry. You know, and I like to have somebody with some experience, and he's got the experience. He's been there, he knows how to do it, and he's older, and just like anything else, comes with age, comes a little more reason and a little more temperament and so forth. So that's where he comes, and what he was before doesn't make any difference to me. It's about good government, and the net result is that's all there is to this. We have a selection.
I suppose a lot of people go back to his past, and you and I remember. We remember the municipal light plant, the fight with the First Energy and the Community Light Plant, and now Dennis wanted to keep the Community Light Plant open. He kind of half succeeded in that. They ended up selling it and using it as a distribution point. But he challenged everybody in those days, and it wasn't a popular thing to do, and he did. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember it vividly, and when I was building my little business on 2720 East 79th Street, you know, and anybody that was
Just
fighting...
up the street from there.
Yeah, anyone fighting the big banks and the downtown establishment and everything was a friend of mine. You know, because I was having the same fight down the street, you know, trying to keep the jobs and keep open. No, you know, all the details, and everyone gets to rewrite the story, but the long and short of it is he was trying to do what was in the best interest, in my opinion, of his community, okay? Mm-hmm. And he got at cross purposes, and maybe he didn't do everything right, but that's not important. That's history. It speaks for itself, okay? We still have the power company. Mm-hmm. Okay? When it's all over, you can go left and you can go right, but the net result is he wanted to keep the power company, they wanted to sell it, we still have it, case closed.
Mm-hmm. What would, you mentioned the police department, and I didn't hear him say it, but I think he wants to hire 500 policemen, is that right? Did you hear that?
Well, there's lots of numbers thrown around, Gerry, that could be the number, maybe it's minus or plus. You know, those type of things are, to me, the fact, is 500 correct, is 600, or is it 100? It's getting the right people. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. And the quality is connected with being able to pay the right type of income to these individuals to represent us and be on the street with the best equipment. It's really simple. You know, they want to do the job, they need the equipment, they need the support, and we're going to give it to them.
How do you get, and this is a question I'd like to ask Dennis, how do you get people today to join the police departments? A lot of people say, I don't want to be a policeman. Student number one is very dangerous. And secondly, you could end up in court, being charged with a crime as a policeman. How do you get, especially young people, to join the police department?
Well, I think ultimately there has to be a new and clearer set of rules, okay, about engagement, and I think there are a number of efforts going on, you know, under the current mayor, positive efforts to go on to address these issues. There is a lot happening here about that, and it's important. But again, we got to get it done. It's still talking and talking. The answer is they'll come, they'll love the profession, and if they're respected and they're trusted and they're protected from issues like you're talking about, who knows what the facts are? The point is there'll be judgments, you know, and for people that are acting outside the fair boundaries of their duties, they will understand that that is not where to be. The question about it is, but we have to start with a clean slate here, and the clean slate says they're there, we need more of them, they need respectful, we need more cars, we need better equipment, you know, but we just have a culture here that they are important and they're respected. They'll come back and do it, and the ones that are retired, I'm sure someone would like to come back. It has been dangerous and no support, but the question is, let's, you know, it's just one issue. What is the $500 million going to be spent for, Gerry? What? How efficiently is that going to be spent? How about the school systems? How about the school guards? How about all the things you're talking about? There'll be absolutely no reason why we can't get this right when you're going to have $750 million coming into the community in the next 18 months.
Eddie, have we ever seen dollars like this coming into our area? You know, and is there, over the decades or the years, I don't know, has there ever been a time like this?
No, I don't think so. And
right.
The form of the dollars, you know, are, you know, particularly unique. And
yes.
They're coming, and you can turn them down if you want to, but
right.
The question, then why somebody else will take them. So
right.
The question, it's like, you know, my business from the very beginning has been, I made a career out of buying disabled assets.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right.
You know, Crawford and Crawford United are both companies that buy companies that have had problems in any form. You know, I look for companies that are distressed not because of any mistake anybody made. You know, how about COVID? There's a lot of companies that are in distress because COVID. What did the good management and the hardworking people have to do with that problem? They didn't create COVID.
No.
Somebody's got to understand it. I understand it. I've been there. I understand the crowd to create these jobs and keep the jobs. And the result is, if somebody's stupid and makes mistakes, look at, if you're an hourly employee, and I have thousands of them, you know, but I'll take a case like in Conneaut, Ohio. I have 280 people there. I've been there for, you know, close to 35 years there. We're the largest, I believe the largest employer in Conneaut. But I respect every single morning, 280 people or 70 people come in and punch time clocks. And go to work. They come there and work, and they work to 3:30, 4, and might go home, and they have a family, and they want to be happy, and they love fishing, and they love hunting, and everything else. And the only thing they got to hope is the person making decisions up in the office, like me, is keeping it straight. Right. And my son Matthew, as you know, has moved on to become the CEO and chairman of the company. He's only 52 years old. He's brilliant from the standpoint. He didn't get that job because his name is Crawford. He got it because he can run the company. And try to run a factory without them. Try to run a police department without people. Try to run anything without support of the people. And the answer is, let's just...
And leadership. And you talk about common sense. You're talking about some common sense things. These dollars have to be managed. There's going to be a lot of restrictions on the dollars. But if you have somebody to believe in and a leader that can work with people, we could get things done here. And there could be real change for the good, for everyone.
There's real change when everyone does their part, okay? You know, again, the factory workers go there. The only thing they want to make sure is that that job is there, okay? And we make the sure. And we've had some tough times. At one time in that particular company, I had to go into the company and ask them. We were under pressure from a competitor who was trying to take our largest account, and they reduced the prices. So I went to the people, 280 people, and I said, look, everyone in this building is going to have to take a 20% reduction in their wages for 6 months. I have to come back. I cannot take it out. It's not margin. Are we together on this thing? Everyone said, go get them. So we went and took their business. And I never given it back. We've never given it back. They've never take that customer back. So that's coming together. That's why respect and loyalty is the only thing that. This is a company. Running Cuyahoga County or running Cleveland, Ohio is a business. It's a complicated business. I don't know if I could run the business. Probably could, but the question is. But it's politics, and there's a lot of the little nuances in the politics, and we need someone smart and aggressive and will take no nonsense, okay? No nonsense, Have the support of labor, have the support of everyone. There's room in this for everyone, but it is now. This capital is one of a kind. It's a gift, okay? And we're glad it's coming, and thank you, government.
Right.
But the question is, it's how we use it. And who is going to use it? Now the question is, all of us in our own lives, if you turn around and say, I want you to manage my car, you're going to pick someone, you're going to lend the car not to anybody, you're going to lend the car to someone that's going to take care of it, right? Well, who's going to take care of this business? And I'm not saying the others are not capable of it, okay? I'm just saying this one particular person, and quite frankly, the commissioner thing's coming up, and I might as well get in real trouble here. They happen to the Lee Weingart's answer there. That's just my opinion. They're qualified people. That's my opinion. But the question is, this is a chance to open up and really trust each other, And it's like we're all playing with the Browns. We got to just play together, just like that. Cleveland's got to come together one time, Right now, it has the capital has no excuses. Absolutely no excuses for that success. And what the most important thing in here is an exciting, prosperous community keeps our children home. Remember that. Most of my friends, when I in high school, all the smart ones all went to New York City, they went to Miami Beach, they went every place else. My father was an electrician who died when I was 16 years old. I didn't have an option. I had to go to work that day. And I've been still working. I love it. I love my responsibility. But this is our time. And you have to pick a leader. And hopefully all of them could do a job. I just have an opinion because I think responsibility is dreadful. And it's got to be someone that's competing with themselves. It's got to be someone that's not trying to get elected or trying to be something because of other people. It's because they want it. They want the competition. We all are that way. You folks here sitting with your musical instruments, the reason you're great at it is because you're competing with yourself. You're not competing with the other person. Am I right?
Right.
That's right. That's only, when you're great and when you're not great, and you do it because you want to play. We got to get people that want to play, be part of the community.
Eddie, you mentioned politics. Politics raises its ugly head a lot of times in situations like this. There'll be a lot of patronage jobs involved in this money. Do you think, you must believe that Dennis has moved on from the liberal views that he had way back in the 70s? He must be now more in the middle of the road, more of a moderate politician.
Well, Gerry, by even mentioning this, look, I've been dodging you for 10 years about political. I've never answered a political question in this clock in 10 years.
I know, you've been
I've dodged it, and I'm not interested in it. I got my own opinion. I got one vote and everything else. But you've asked me, but again...
Stay close to that microphone. We don't want to miss a word of this.
Where's that piece of paper I handed you?
I haven't had time to read it because I'm listening to you.
Business-like approach. This is out of the Financial Times. I was coming back from Europe, and Financial Times, and Mandela's on the front cover of this article. And here I am, right here, businessman-like approach. read this. This is one piece here.
You read that comment.
This article, Mr. Edward Crawford, a very conservative Republican who has a string of small manufacturing companies, was one of the team which planned the ceremony to inaugurate Mr. Mike White as mayor of Cleveland on January 1st. The black mayor had campaigned on the program for social justice, but he is careful to include businessmen among his advisors in a city where business took a lead in stalling its decline. So, Eddie, you talk about that hometown. I feel it. I feel the passion. And we need to vote and cheer and support our hometown. And we need to win. When are we going to win? Cleveland needs to win.
Now.
And it's greater Cleveland. It's all of them. I'm from Parma, the 7th largest city. We need to win. I want to be a part of all of those things.
I'll tell you, win. You should get the. You want to win?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, let's just start with the fact that I think I'm not positive. I'll get in a little trouble here, but you know, I'm Irish, so I can story tell here. Okay. You know, I don't know how many people are employed by the state of Ohio, but I tell you right now, all the big agencies, the turnpike commissions and everything, are all located in downtown Columbus.
Right. Why?
Okay.
Why?
Name one major
Why?
higher
State
state agency
They're not here.
in Cleveland. Why not? Let's
We
say
need a
there's
fighter.
8,000 people down there that have jobs. These are well-paying jobs, okay? Why aren't we getting one of those agencies? Why don't we get 10% of them? What happened here? We've been disorganized. We're going to get organized here. We're going to put it together. We want 1,000 jobs. And we don't want to hear that you don't have those 1,000 jobs,
Make it happen.
because it's our jobs.
Right.
Incidentally, as a political person raising money over the years, all the votes, okay, and all the money is in Northeast Ohio.
Right.
It's not anywhere else. It's not in Cincinnati anymore, and it's not in Columbus
Or we don't have the agencies.
yet.
Yeah, yet.
In other words, so in my discussion with the type of people I'm talking about, everyone wants to talk about this. We need someone to get it done. I want the jobs moved. I want 500 jobs or 1,000 jobs moved from Columbus. One of those, shut them down there and move it to downtown Cleveland. Okay, that's what I want to. Now that's a success. You want success? There's a success.
Now, we do have a state office tower here, don't we?
Isn't
The
that
Loud
nice?
Shape building. Yeah, I don't know who's in there. The lottery,
Who's in there?
maybe.
Well, who's in it?
Well, let's put it this way. You know,
Right.
You know something? We're going to find out.
Right. No,
And
good
you know
job.
what? Any of these candidates can do this. Okay. You know, I'm not disqualifying anyone. You know, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, in my opinion, I like the history of someone that's been at this a long time, and I disagreed with many times. As you can imagine, this is not. But
And
the
that's
question
normal.
is, this is not 20 years ago. This is not Mike White. This is Cleveland, Ohio today. This is the opportunity where the millions are coming in. Northeast, we want this reorganized so it's in the benefit of us and our community. Just that simple. That has to be done now. And now there's no excuse. We don't even have the funds. So let's get on it.
Okay. Good.
So Dennis Kucinich is going to be the man. He's a
I
great
believe-
guy. I like Dennis a lot.
I believe so. I mean, you know, and again, if he's not, then I'm going to be just as vocal and just as helpful
Keep fighting.
to whoever is the person that wins. Whoever's in the winner's circle is my best friend.
Yeah, stay close to that microphone. I want to get every word you say.
I don't know if that's good.
If there's problems here, they accuse you of saying something. I want them to be sure that they got it right. Anyway, Dennis is your pick to be mayor of Cleveland. You think he's the best for the job? And,
At this time, he's the
Lee
best.
Weingart, you would say, is the best for the commissioner.
At this time, they are
Or
both
county executive. I think
county
is the word.
executive, yeah. And with the mission at stake, as I understand it.
Great.
Yeah.
Can I play a few commercials now?
Go ahead.
Can we hear some music? You won't sing though, huh?